Hello guys, welcome to my video again, and in this video we are going to talk about SQL exist operator. So I really want you to focus on these sessions because this is where SQL starts getting interesting as well as it also gets a little bit more complicated, right? So we will try to use a very simple approach to learn the exist. So first we are going to see it in Excel, and then we are going to do it in SQL so that you can connect we are doing with the exit exists operator. Okay, so let's start with that. If I go open up my Excel, as you can see, I have two data and you will be provided with the data. I got this data from W3 schools only. And here, if you see, we have a supplier data, and here, if you see, we have the product data, right? So now what we are doing is here, if you look at this example, what it is saying is the following SQL statements returns true and list of suppliers with the product price less than 20. So what it is returning is, if you look at these two data, okay, what we want to find out is wherever the product price is less than 20, wherever the product price is less than 20, what is the supplier's name? That means the suppliers who are supplying products that are less than 20. Okay, so what we can do is, if you look at this Excel, how we can interpret this, if I if I just uh, take all the products that has the value less than 20. So I will just go to a number filter and I will do less than, because we want to do less than 20. Okay, so all the numbers I want less than 20. Now if I do okay, so you will see all the products over here which has the product price less than 20. Now if I ask you what are the names of these suppliers, okay, so what I will have to do, so I have the supplier ID 1 6 7 8 9 10, right? So let's take some of the examples. So let's say if I talk about one, and if I go to the supplier ID, since in this data we don't have the supplier name, okay, so the supplier information we have in a separate table. Okay, so if you look at the supplier name, so supplier ID 1, here I can see supplier ID 1, his name is, the supplier's name is exotic liquid. Okay, now if I talk about some other suppliers, let's say supplier ID 6. Now what is the supplier's name? So 6 is Mayumis, right? So this is how you can connect to table, and we have seen this already when we did the join operation, right? So we can join two tables based on a common column. So between these two table, what is the common column that we have? We have the supplier ID, right? So we are going to look at all the products that has less than 20, and we are going to look at all the suppliers name. Okay, so I guess the problem statement is quite clear. Now we are going to write the SQL statement. Okay, now if you see over here, how it is writing is, first it is selecting the supplier name from the suppliers table, and then what it is doing is where exists, that means this particular code or this particular SQL statement should exist in the supplier name. Okay, so so this is how you can write it. So let's open our workbench and let's try to write it down. So first of all, we are going to write select let's say supplier select. We have the supplier data here, columns, we want the supplier name, so I will just copy the name, short version. I'll copy the name. So select the suppliers. Oh my God, select the supplier's name from suppliers data. So I'm going to first do this. Now what I'm going to do is where exists. Now what I'm going to write, I want to select the products. Okay, so if I go over here, I want to select all the products where the supplier products ID. So first of all, I will have to mention what is the common column between them, and then I will have to get the price. Okay, so what I'm going to do is select whatever column. If you want to choose any column from the product data, you can choose it. It is, I mean, you don't need to take the product name only. So I will just try to hit select all from products data that we have. uh, this is the product data. Can I copy it? With the name, I will paste it here. Let's see whether this runs or not because the name is not. Yeah. Okay. So select all from the products, and now I'm going to select any column. You can just choose any column from here. So I will just copy this from here. From which table? From the products table that we have, from products data, where first I will need to mention what is the common column that we have. Okay, so the common column that we have is from products data dot. I will need to, because I will need to give dot, because otherwise SQL will not understand from which table we are taking the supplier ID, right? Because in both the table we have the supplier ID. So I will just get the supplier data here, dot supplier ID, and I will also put, because I want the product price, so let's copy this name. I want the price to be less than 20. Okay, now if I just do this and if I try to hit enter, you will see that all the supplier IDs will be here, like exotic liquid, and this is something that we have already seen. Then you can also see the new Orleans, blah blah blah, and then you can see Tokyo Traders, Mayumi's, which is something that we have already seen. So these are the suppliers who are providing products with a price less than 20. Okay. Now, if you want to make it greater than 20, or if you want to make it whatever, you can just try to play with this. Okay, so this is how the exist work.